Okay, so we obviously know you make music digitally. You know, you sample well. You're going to start working on some synth work, some less sampling work in the future. Do you play any instruments, physical instruments like piano, guitar, bass, or anything like that?
I wish I did.
Hey, that's cool. I
I
totally have respect. I don't know how to make any sort of music digitally. I've
uh,
been playing drums for years, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And I've tried to make vaporwave before, and I cannot. I just can't do it. I don't know what's going on.
you can do it. You can do it. I'll teach you. I'll teach
Maybe
you.
one day. Maybe one day.
I never took musical classes or
Hmm.
anything. I can't read a note. I can't play a chord. Or I can do nothing. I remember when we had piano class in school and I couldn't even play the most simple song, and and then so I have no no musical knowledge. But I just started making ambient stuff and by
Hmm.
ear, like what sounds good and what not. And Vaporwave isn't that difficult to make.
Hmm.
Hope I'm not stepping on any toes right now, but everyone can make it. You just gotta feel right by it.
Of course, and I think as the years are going by, there's so much potential to make really, really, really good sounding stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so that's why. I mean, maybe one day I'll dive into it.
Yeah,
But
I mean it's only slowed down Diana Ross, right?
exactly right. I think something that truly sets you apart from a large majority of the community, specifically in terms of music production, is your ability to always create something refreshing. So, from Sandra Wave to School Days, Palm Mall to Oasis, your sound always seems to be one step ahead of what your listeners think is going to come next. So, instead of only bringing over previous successful qualities from past albums or projects, your latest work always seems to redefine your personality and essentially makes you an unpredictable, exciting artist. So, that being said, give us a little bit of a look into what goes into the music making process. How do you find your samples? What equipment software do you use? I guess anything that you would want, the listeners right now to know how Corp makes his music.
Well, first of all, thank you, thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
try to do my best. Yeah, how does it start? I know I
Mm.
made the first album in Adobe Premiere, which is
Wow.
actually a video software,
Oh, man.
but it has this really useful slow down technique.
Mm-hmm.
You just set the speed and you can apply some simple effects. But how does it start? It always starts with this idea I get from a movie or other music or television or a certain theme. And then I try to make up this background story about it. So Class of '84 is this class who has all these adventures in their classroom and in the city they live in. But if you look at Shopping at Helsinki, which was based upon my journeys to my girlfriend, she actually lives in Helsinki,
Hmm.
and I saw all these malls and unknown things, and I even saw some things, and I thought, oh shit, aesthetics. So I got this idea that I want to make new Mallsoft. It has to sound very plastic and corporate,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wrote down all these things that I saw there, all the shopping malls, and then I built upon that. I looked for very plastic sounding samples, and I came up with titles, and I even asked my girlfriend to go back to the mall to record sounds of it because I wanted to be as authentic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So actual Finnish and Swedish in the album. So that's how I make them, and nowadays I use mostly Fruity Loops and Cubase.
Gotcha. Very, very cool. All right. So, last question. What is your favorite food? There we go. What's your favorite food?
Oh,
Let them know. Let the
pizza,
people know.
pizza,
Pizza. Pizza. Can't go wrong with some pizza. There you
and
go.
pasta. Oh man, I love pasta.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pasta with salmon
Pasta
and
with
zucchini.
salmon.
Yeah, zucchini.
Okay. Oh, zucchini. Yeah, pasta with
Yeah,
zucchini's banging.
my mom makes it, and it's the best. Oh.
Okay, so I'm sure you've seen. I've recently listened to the new upcoming Palm Mall 2 song. We're all super excited for that. And I wanted to get your take on how I reviewed it. So let's do a Cat System Corp reviews Pad Chennington's review of the Palm Mall 2 song. What do you think, and what do you have to tell everybody in terms of what you're trying to do with the song, and what it all means, and what are we going to expect in the future?
Yeah, man, you were so close to discovering this whole interwoven background story in all my albums. I mean, I don't fully remember what you wrote, but you were so close. There's this story I started on Hiraf,
Hmm.
and if you listen very closely to the last tracks, you hear something like, it's been a brilliant journey of self-awakening, and now you simply gotta ask yourself this, what is happiness to you? And I think some people might think, I heard that somewhere. And yes, you did. It's from Vanilla Sky, which is a movie. I hope everyone saw Vanilla Sky. If you haven't, please click forward in this video because I'm going to spoil the movie. Have you seen it, Pat?
I have not seen it. I'm a horrible.
Oh.
Listen, my movie. This is my movie. My movie choices right now. Every
Uh-oh.
movie I watch is a mafia movie. I love Goodfellas, The Godfather, A Bronx Tale, all that stuff. Any other type of movie, I've never seen or I don't care. So,
All right,
believe it or
so I
not,
can.
actually, a quick little interesting thing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my girlfriend, uh, this year was the first, believe it or not, besides Toy Story, but this year was the first Disney movie I've ever seen in my life. It was The Lion King. I've never watched as a kid. I mean, when I was,
Really?
yep, swear to God, as a kid, it was my life as a kid was Pokemon, Power Rangers, and then like Yu-Gi-Oh cards when those came out. That shit
Oh,
was I ran the playground at my school. I was the kingpin of Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. But
that's
yeah,
why you like the mafia movies.
exactly. And maybe it's in some inspiration, but
You can now make Lion King waves, like the
Lion
nostalgia you
King.
never had.
There you go. Simba Wave,
Which is
Simba Wave. That's some good shit. So Vanilla Sky, tell me, I've never seen or heard about it. Well, I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. So
yeah,
spoil
well,
it for
in
me.
in Vanilla Sky, this very rich dude lives in a big penthouse, and things are happening to him, strange things. He doesn't understand. But long story short, he's in a lucid dream because he is dead.
Hmm.
And when he was still alive, he signed up for a project that when I die, I want my body to be frozen and I want to have a nice lucid dream and wake me up in 200 years. So he's dead. He's in this lucid dream. Things go wrong. And in the end, he calls for tech support. And then this guy comes up and he's like, I tried to warn you. You were in a dream. I said, wake up, but you didn't. And then he has to make a choice. Is he going to continue the dream or is he going to wake up 200 years later? Well, he chooses to wake up. But I like that idea so much that I made that as my foundation for all the albums. Being in this lucid dream, even like Inception, where they live in the dreams that they created. And I think if you look at other movies, like The Matrix,
Mm-hmm.
you know, people just hook up to this computer world, which is a better world. It's perfect. It's better. What you always wanted. You can choose the dream that you want to dream, and you can live in it. And I wanted to have that in my albums. So that idea started on Here I Have, and Cosmopolitan Dreams would be like the second part. It's even in the title, Cosmopolitan Dreams, because he's dreaming. And it also starts with this sample from Vanilla Sky, like life extension wants you to live, and I don't think God disapproves of this. And that's people talking about how they died and then continue living on in a dream. And I thought, well, his dreams went into nightmares, but what if you choose to live in a nightmare? So I took The Last of Us, which happens in a apocalyptic world where fungus zombies roam around, and I kind of have a thing for zombie movies and zombie like Walking Dead. I mean, put me in it, I would love it.
Oh
I'd,
yeah.
I'd just cross around in my RV killing zombies, and so I looked up buildings and things from The Last of Us, like the Meridian Bank, Liberty Gardens, the Goldstone Building, and I took them as track titles. So this guy is dreaming that he's in a zombie world. And I think I continued it on, was it? I'm going to look it up for you.
Hmm.
Mm, no, not on Oasis. Now you could say class of 84 is a dream that you want to dream,
Hmm.
like being in this perfect 80s class, going to prom and whatnot. Pall Mall has sort of it. It's like a mall in the world of Hereath.
Hmm.
And I can spoil a little. Pall Mall 2 will not be set on planet Earth.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
We talking to some aliens in this one. I'm excited.
There's this new thing I want to explore, more like here we come, Blade Runner again. Off colony worlds, ring worlds, uh, new planets that have been colonized.
Sweet.
So Pall Mall 2 will be the first big shopping mall on planet Mars.
Oh, snap. I'm excited. All right. Well, awesome. Absolutely awesome. I think we're all pretty pumped for Palm Mall too. I think a lot of us, when we heard Palm Mall the first time, in terms of mall soft, mall core, I don't even know, what the exact genre name is, but so it's something about that album where, and I've talked about this before, where the first half is just literal mall. It's the
Hmm.
literal mall, and then
Hmm.
the second is the track listing. Just the whole vibe of that album. I don't think anyone has really hit that hard on making you feel like you're in a mall. This mall before opening, or it's just opening it up, and you can hear every little sound. That office lady's heels clacking around, that water fountain in the background, and
Yep.
and like for me, like I know when I was a kid, the one thing I remember so much about a mall back in the day was, for some reason, was the smell of cinnamon buns. I don't know why, but whenever I smell cinnamon buns, I think of like an old back in the day being a kid in the mall. That's what I
I know
remember.
that feeling.
Yep. So yeah, I think we're all really excited to hear what's coming out, and we'll be all staying
It,
in tune because we're pumped for the release.
it's kind of funny that you mentioned how you experienced malls, because where I come from, there's one mall and it's super small.
Hmm.
You can't even call it a mall. Like those, I think Pall Mall was also something of how I would visualize American shopping malls. A lot of my albums have this huge American theme because I only know America from television,
Hmm.
so that's kind of vapor.
Oh, it definitely is.
So Pall Mall is like how I would visualize a shopping mall.
Very cool. That's awesome. I mean, that's the most aesthetic you can get. it's like this like interpretation of what you see on television. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, and that's also why I made this VHS, because I first had the idea to make contact with Dan Bell.
Hmm.
I think you know his videos of those deserted shopping malls,
Hmm. Yeah,
abandoned
those are
shopping malls.
so cool.
Yeah, and I thought, what if I ask him that he gives me some of his footage and I layer it with some MallSoft and let's put that on VHS or YouTube. But then I thought, maybe I can make it better. So I thought, let's ask fans to send in their shopping malls. Uh, so I posted it on my Facebook. Please, everyone, send me footage of your local shopping mall, and I'll make a video out of it. I think only one person responded. So I'm like, okay, that idea is also skipped. So then I thought I'm going to totally do it myself.
Hmm.
Film everything where I come and where I go. So I thought, what do we have here? We have shopping malls, we have indoor gardens, and I thought, oh shit, is that it?
Hmm.
So then again, I came to this theme. It's called no, I can't even remember the title of my own VHS. What was it again? Shop, work, life, family workshop. You know how annoying it is when you work with Japanese characters, you can't remember your own title. So I made this new idea of the VHS. It had to be places where I come, places where I go, where I work, or not only shopping malls, because there's not many around here.
Hmm.
So I came up with this title or this theme: family, work, shop. Three most important things in life. Put them in any order you want, but those are the three most important things. And I thought, so everywhere I go with my family, I'm going to shoot video. Everywhere I come for my work, I'm going to shoot video, and I'm going to film in shopping malls. So one time I was at this big event in renewable energy, like solar panels and all that stuff, and it looked so corporate. So I started to film it, and I used that in the video. And I also made videos of things like it's called vivarium. Vivarium.
Okay.
It's it's for aquaria and stuff and terrariums. So I also filmed there, something with the family. And then I also shot in shopping malls. I made all this video myself, and it got a little bit out of hand. And now I almost have a 90-minute
Oh
video.
my god.
It's 1 hour and 20 minutes of a mall soft set in European shopping malls and workplaces. And even I fly to Helsinki, which we also filmed and made
Mhm.
into a video clip. So you're also going to see some Finnish shopping centers. It's the biggest project I ever did. I worked almost 2 years on this.
Wow.
I started filming in 2016, early 2016.
Hmm.
So
That's
I hope
yeah.
to finish it real soon.
What's cool about that is I think a lot of people nowadays, when we're making something, it could be anything. It could be music, it could be art, whatever it may be. When you start doing it, you want to get to the finished product so badly. You want to get there so quick. So you kind of like you cut short the potential of the project by like I just want to get this out there. I really want to get it out there. So the fact, that you're putting 2 years of work into this project, staying humble, staying controlled in a way, it's pretty exciting. So I'm pumped to see the quality of this project come to life in the future.
It's
Oh,
difficult.
I'm sure.
I mean, dedicating yourself to a project for 2 years. I mean, and even albums sometimes. It's like, I know I'm gonna finish it, but I don't know when.
Hmm.
I think Luxury Girls almost didn't happen because I couldn't find any sample that would go with it. I almost threw the whole project away
Wow.
until I finally found some samples again that I could use. It's I think fellow artists will recognize it. It's a struggle sometimes.
Hmm.
And when you're making something, you're like, oh, I wish it was done.
I know.
And then you hate it, and then you find something new and you work on it and you think, oh, I love it. And when it finally is released, then you're like, yes, we did it. We did it.
Exactly. I think well, one thing like personally with me, I'm sure if I were to really sit down and learn Fruity Loops, like I have Fruity Loops and
Hmm.
whatnot, like I'm sure I can learn how to do it. But I really there's no one who's kind of taking vaporwave and turning it into like physical live instrumentation. There's got to be
Um,
unless you know someone or
I
some.
had I had this idea in my head that
Mm,
God, I wish I could play an instrument. Then I would totally cover Vaporwave. I mean, you can do it. You just gotta have these electric drum kits.
mm-hmm.
Like you can hit it with a stick and then it plays a sound.
Yeah.
You just load up slowed down drum samples. Like you can't recreate slowed down drums real time. And I think synths it would work, guitars it would work. Only vocals, what? Yeah, do you need vocals?
Vocals would be. You know what? I also had an idea. I have a pedal for my bass, and it's a really just reverb flanger heavy pedal. So I was
Oh,
thinking like, what if I were to take like all the things you said is what I would pretty much do. So kind of like electric drumming,
hmm,
just lots of looping, just to like zone in an audience. Like I feel like after like maybe
hmm.
like 3 or 4 minutes playing live at a bar, they'd be like, "What is like?" It's so long and boring. But I feel like once you hit like a 6 or 7 minute mark, they'd be like just hypnotized. It's like it's going on for so long. And
Yeah, yeah.
vocally, what I was thinking is sing into the pedal for the bass. So have your voice live, kind of like a vocoder or a talk box, I guess. So yeah, I actually have a couple friends. We play at bars almost every weekend. And nothing vaporwave. It's like just a lot of classic rock and whatnot. But they're kind of like lightly into it. So I'm trying to get them around to the idea of it. So we'll see.
Do you know any people who play the saxophone?
I actually do.
You do?
Yeah. I actually have a good friend from school who played the saxophone, so that would be.
I mean, you could do the weather channel stuff.
If you ever learn how to play the saxophone, you let me know and you send me.
We're gonna do it.
You send me the MP3 track and I'll throw it in there. It'd be pretty sweet.